Dear listener, I pose to you a question. 1692, United States. Salem, Giles Corey. Mr. Corey's wife was accused of witchcraft, yet when he spoke out against the accusation, his death came by pain fort de dour, crushing by stones pressed upon a board, until his body could no longer sustain the increasing weight. In the year 1749, in what is now Bavaria, the nun Maria Renata Singer von Massau was beheaded and burnt at the stake for allegations including witchcraft, apostasy, heresy, and a pact with the devil. 2021, South Africa, Soweto, Justina Sangweni, beaten and burned alive for supposed witchcraft. And here, my inquiry. What is the greater horror? A supernatural threat, or the person you call family or neighbor the moment their civility give way to the fear-driven violence? Good evening, caller. Please state your full name in relation to the horror.
I'm Raluca Popescu, Radu by birth, but I go by Popescu now. I call him my dad Marku. Saved me from a trial burning in 2003 before he moved to the U.S.
Very curious, Mr. Popescu. Glancing at your surname, I'm willing to wager the country is Romania. And, if memory serves me, 2003 to 2004, SARS, Romania, the village Marotinu de Sus, Strigoi.
Yeah, it was a weird time.
I have always remained curious as to what led the small village to violence.
To be honest, I've been trying to figure that out. I was barely 5 when it happened. So my dad passed away a few weeks ago, and I guess I just wanted to find out about him, about what happened in Marotinu de Sus, why Dad was the way he was, why the people believed things they did. And I read his diary, the one he kept the last month of his life when that fever came back. I would hear him talking to someone who wasn't there while he wrote it, barge into the room to make sure there was no intruder, but it would just be Dad. Just be Dad sitting up straight, staring out the window while writing. So it starts. I was happy there. My 6 older brothers said it was too backwards for them, so they moved to other areas of the country. I stayed because it was home. I knew the people, they knew me, they called me Caparosu.
Being a ginger is a rarity in Romania.
It is in Marotinu de Sus. More so after 2003. Anyway, everyone knew me. Before me and my parents drove to Avram's funeral in Bucharest, the whole village came to wish us luck and express sympathies for the loss of my brother, or disbelief he wanted to be buried in the city. 5-year-old Raluca came to say goodbye with his parents. He was the only other ginger in town, so in his kid mind it meant we were brothers, and thus Avram was also his brother. He stayed behind waving at the car the longest. Yeah, I remember that. So driving back from Bucharest, right outside our village, the crash happened. A semi-truck was coming from the other side, and it lost control. I still dream how the semi-truck squealed into the metal frame of our Volkswagen, shattering my parents' hands to head, and expanding into the car, reaching for me with a bloody smile and Dad's hand over the grill. No one was smart enough to figure out how I survived. All I broke was an arm, and my parents didn't have bodies for a burial. My villagers came with flowers and sympathy. When I became sick with the same SARS symptoms my brother had, the elders cared for me like a newborn, keeping me company with a new meal every breakfast, dinner, lunch, whispering new town gossip to me, or just staying in the house for an hour or two to make sure I wasn't too lonely. They were the first to die. Then the babies, then the adults, and the Reaper came when I dreamed of them. Lauren Balin brought me papanasi. The one day, that night, I dreamt I slithered into his house, up stair by stair, until I reached the old man's bedroom, crawling scale by scale under his covers, reaching for his neck, waking up the next day hearing he had died. They all died the same way. Fever, cough, chills, fatigue, shortness of breath, headache, sometimes diarrhea. Marotinu de Seuss treated religion of superstition the way of Jonestown and germ theory like an invasive species. I wasn't too surprised when the visits became less and less. Still disappointed. Raluca was the only one who would still come to me to visit in between bouts of sweats. But I still needed food that a 5-year-old couldn't get. Yeah, it was strange seeing him so sick, Crowley. Like, you have to understand, he was the one guy in town everyone went to when they were sick. He'd never, ever get sick. He was the one the farmers went to when something was too heavy. At 5, I already knew him as the town's immortal man who could do anything. But, sorry, I just wanted to provide that context. I'll continue. When I forced myself to the food market with fever-blurred vision, Maria Dalka wouldn't even take my money. The streets became collections of people gossiping my name in whispers I couldn't puzzle together. Little Raluca was waiting for me at my house. He grabbed my arm when I was struggling with my keys. The townspeople had convened about me. There were whispers about me being a Strigoi V.
Mr. Popescu. A Strigoi V, for our audience unaware, are believed to be living vampires, kin to Western notions of witches.
Yes. And do you know the punishment for association with the title?
Death.
Yeah. Raluca helped me pack clothes, a Bible, and my great-grandmother's cross necklace heirloom. He hugged me goodbye as the sun set. Alone, I opened my childhood home's door for the one last time. Looked back at my father's rocking chair and my mother's knitting corner. Something sounded like a scurry close to me, but my fever vision blocked out any detail outside of blue and black colors fleeing. My vision cleared as my fever died down. The night was actually really beautiful. The Big Dipper pointing to the North Star guided me in a town still behind on internet service. Everything remained quiet until I reached the town square. Maria stood at the head of the mob. She held the machete. Around her, people I thought of as friends held modern mob weapons. Mihai with a flashlight and a shovel, Andre with a gas chainsaw, Christian with his father's hunting rifle, garden forks, hammers, torches, and butcher knives engulfed the rest of the posse. Maria asked me why I attacked the village. I told her I did not attack anyone. I was sick and needed to get to a hospital where I won't infect them anymore. The posse stayed silent, eyes glancing in the flickering torchlights. Please believe me. A bullet burned through my left earlobe. I felt blood with my one good hand. Stampede ensued. Down the ancient alleyways, I heard them following me. Growls and screams molesting the quiet night alongside the scrapes of metal garden forks against building walls and chainsaws whirring. Fever vision blinding much outside of spotlights tracking me. I ran to the first door I could find, Maria's house, locked the silver bolts behind me. Breathe in, fever burning, breathe out. Breathe in, the chainsaw raping into the room, fever, run up clay stairs of a cross-decorated room, breathe out. Door crash onto the floor. The hallway echoed with a chainsaw metal as Andre charged after me. There was a window at the end of the hallway, winking between drops of burning sweat. Next to it was an open door. I don't remember how I got inside. I don't remember why only Andre followed me. A lot of that night it's like attending church as a kid.
You remember little of the details, only the feeling.
I mean, listen, your guess is as good as mine, Crowley. But he just wrote, the fever made every crunch of chain against wood and every Andre shriek bounce in my skull. Break my legs first with the mob's hammers. Stake my heart before covering my corpse in holy dirt, he threatened. I removed my sling from my right arm. He gouged a violent opening in the door. I threw the sling over his eyes as his head shot through, dragging him through the hole in the door, ripping a gash of blood trails with the wooden protrusion sticking from his leg. His chainsaw whirred large arcs from left to right. I struggled against him with my sling into the hall. He kept screaming, I'm going to saw your bones. I'm going to hammer your skull inside out. He kept calling me Strigoi. He kept pretending like I was not the guy he went out to get drinks with every weekend, as if we never got in trouble for stealing apples from the farmers as kids. All of our years together in the same village meant nothing anymore. I was just a problem to be solved. Flash slashed him as he fell through the lone window in the upper hallway, still blinded by my sling. I remember the screams and the cracking bones. Quiet. The ground floor was different from what I recalled. Bloody footsteps from my boots and tens of tracks following it to Christian's body. It was bashed in half with brains exploded from his skull. The footprints fled out from the corpse to the outside in sticky red puddles. The streets were empty. I walked through the back alleys, wandered through homes with open doors. Everyone was gone. Shadows lingering in the old lamplights of my town while I sweat in the parking lot waiting for the bus to drive by until a torchlight blinded me. I heard Mihai's shovel scraping the tar road. What happened in Maria's house? I asked him. He told me to be a silent Strigoi and accept my fate. I asked him, once again, what happened? His eyes were unblinking and a quagmire of tears. I loved Marku, he told me. I am Marku, I told him. You look like him. You talk like him, but you hurt like he cannot.
Mr. Popescu, please excuse me. Are details being ignored purposely?
I'm sorry, Crowley. I did my best in translating and decoding the diary, but it's like an undone mosaic. There are flashes of text that rarely make any sense. Him just describing smelling sulfur before jumping between scenes of loud bangs and handshakes with blue-eyed figures. Words stabbed into the margins with black ink, more often than not variations of Pricolici.
Pricolici, the werewolf vampires.
Yeah, our town held superstition close to its heart.
Have you ever wondered if the spells of amnesia did not hold any supernatural contradictions?
I don't know. I still have no idea what happened in Maria's living room, or he describes a weird man in the chair next to Christian's body. Even he seems confused about him. Quote, I don't even know if he was real or a fever dream.
Local.
Dad wrote, I'd never seen him before. He wore these long black sleeves almost like a priest, and his skin was
sickly pale yellow, unnaturally blue eyes, no hair, gaunt and tall, book bound in atavistic leather in his hands.
Yes.